Hare Krishna. Good morning, dear devotees. Welcome to our daily Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we have pick your own verse, right? So today I've chosen 158. Sri Narada Uvacha. Narada's going to give us some instruction to Sri Vyasadeva. But before we start in there, let's do some Jai Radha Madhava. Window to the spiritual world. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Prajajana Ranjana Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatiravanachari Yam Munati Ravanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Yara. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Kalashanji, Radha Kalashanji, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Shamasundar, Radha Shamasundar, Shri Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Shri Radha Madhava ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasvatim Vasyam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashta Prayasha Bhabreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Together, please. Om Gyantamarandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshuramritam yena tasmai Shri Guruve Nama. I was born in the darkness of ignorance, but my spiritual master so kindly opened my darkened eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. Okay, so we're going to read from Canto 1, Chapter 5 here, verse 8. And in this part of Bhagavatam, Sri Vyasadeva has just compiled the Vedas. He split them into 4, realizing that Kali Yuga was upon us. He thought of how to best help humanity. And so he decided that the Vedas need to be written down and split into 4, right? But after he does this, he's not feeling satisfied. I'll continue further about that, but let's do the verse first and the translation and purport. Shri Naradu Vacha Bhavatanudita Prayam Bhavatanudita Prayam Yasho Bhagavato Malam Yasho Bhagavato Malam Yena Vyasyo Nathusyeta Yena Vyasyo Nathusyeta Maneta Darsanam Kilam Maneta Darsanam Kilam. Bolo, please. Shri Naradu Vacha Bhavatanudidam Prayam Yasho Bhagavato Malam Yane Vaso Natusheta Maneta Darshinam Kilam. Sri Narada Uvacha Bhavitanudita Prayam Yasho Bhagavato Malam Yena Vaso Natusheta Maneta Darshinam Kilam. Sri Narada Uvacha Bhavitanudita Prayam Yasho Bhagavato Malam Yane Vaso Natusheta Maneta Darshinam Kilam. Sri Narada Uvacha Bhagavatanudita Prayam Yasho Bhagavato Malam Yena Vasyo Nitusheta Maneta Darshanam Kilam. Word for word, Sri Narada. Sri Nard Uvacha said, Bhavata, by you. So let's do it all together from now on. So we'll start. Anudita Prayam, almost not praised. Asyaha, glories. Bhagavata, of the personality of Godhead. Amalam, spotless. Yena, by which. Eva, certainly. Asho, he, the personality of Godhead. Na, does not. Tusheta, be pleased. Mane, I think. Tat, that. Darshanam, philosophy. Kilam, inferior. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Narada said, you have not actually broadcast the sublime and spotless glories of the personality of Godhead. That philosophy which does not satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord is considered worthless. Purport. The eternal relation of an individual soul with the Supreme Soul, personality of Godhead, is constitutionally one of being the eternal servitor of the eternal master. The Lord has expanded himself as living beings in order to accept loving service from them, and this alone can satisfy both the Lord and the living beings. Such a scholar as Vyasadeva has completed many expansions of the Vedic literatures, ending with a Vedanta philosophy, but none of them have been written directly glorifying the personality of Godhead. Dry philosophical speculations, even on the transcendental subject of the Absolute, have very little attraction without directly dealing with the glorification of the Lord. The personality of Godhead is the last word in transcendental realization. The Absolute realized as impersonal Brahman or localized Supersoul Paramatma is less productive of transcendental bliss than the supreme personal realization of his glories. The compiler of the Vedanta Darshana is Vyasadeva himself, yet he is troubled, although he is the author. So what sort of transcendental bliss can be derived by the readers and listeners of Vedanta, which is not explained directly by Vyasadeva, the author? Whoa. Sorry. Oh no. Oop. Herein arises the necessity of explaining Vedanta Sutra in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam by the self-same author. Hare Krishna. Translation one more time. Srinard said, "You have not actually broadcast the sublime and spotless glories of the personality of Godhead. That philosophy which does not satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord is considered worthless." You can imagine in your own life, you have some kind of service that you do, right? Some kind of duty. Some people work at the office. Some people get on the altar and do pujari service. Some people distribute books. Some people are take care of their children, right, in different ways. And just imagine in your career or your duty, you have just done the most magnificent service that can be imagined. I grew up playing sports, so sometimes I think of things in the sense of sports, and I could just imagine. I played baseball and football, but so many people understand cricket. So you can imagine that you were the rookie cricket player, and you come in and you win the championship. The first year you've done it. And not only then, but for the next 20 years, you win championship after championship after championship. I mean, you're known as the greatest of all time, right? A feat that's just unconceivable to some people who play sports, you know? Somebody winning the championship 20 years in a row. And you do it, and you're not even satisfied. But as I said before, not just sports and cricket, but whatever service you do, you write code, and you wrote the most magnificent code that will be talked about for the next thousands years. Oh my gosh, blah blah blah. With a minute. So I'm explaining these in just kind of an idea of some of the things that are practical in our life. But the service that Sri Vyasadeva has done in compiling the Vedas, no matter what we can think of, this is a million, billion times more magnificent than anything we can even think of in our career. And still he's not satisfied. Wow. You know? And so Srila Vyasadeva, not being satisfied, he knew what to do. Srila Prabhupada says in one of the purports in this chapter, he says that when the realized person is unsatisfied, they know that the Supreme Lord is not satisfied. And so if the Supreme Lord isn't satisfied, then inquiry is necessary. We need to figure out, why am I not feeling satisfied? Right? Why am I not satisfying Krishna? And so in this case, Sri Vyasadeva started to ponder, right? And pray. And he got a realization. And his realization said, I wonder if I'm not feeling satisfied because I haven't directly explained or told about the pastimes, the glories of the Lord. And just at that same time, who appears? Narada Muni. This is quite interesting, right? That Sri Vyasadeva, through prayer, internally, he comes up with the right answer, actually. What is the matter? Why he isn't satisfied? But still, being unsatisfied or knowing the answer wasn't even enough. He still needed to be satisfied, right? And so, therefore, his spiritual master is there for him to inquire, to ask, right? So you've experienced this in your life, where you have an idea what is the problem, but yet you still, there's something lingering, right? This is very practical in our life as devotees, is because we have this. This is a very nice, practical explanation, the difference between jnana and vijnana, right? Sri Vyasadeva has the knowledge to know that what's going on, but it still hasn't sunk in. It still hasn't satisfied the heart. And so therefore, he needs to experience it. And how is he going to experience it? By the words of his spiritual master. And so then Narada Muni comes and he says, he kind of gists Vyasadeva, kind of like throws an elbow in his stomach. Hey, what's wrong? Narada Muni knows what's wrong, right? And what does Narada Muni do? He says, it's okay. Don't worry about it. No. He says, what work is done without the pleasure of the Lord completely is worthless. He says it's like pilgrimage of crows. He basically tells Vyasadeva that his stuff, this art, this career, his is it called a magnus opum when somebody's is worthless. Can you imagine your spiritual master telling you this? Oh, I think we'd cry and we'd just shrink into the ground. Oh, but Gurudev, when I was on the altar and giving arti, it was so nice, wasn't it? Nah. Actually, in your heart wasn't Krishna, so oh my gosh. But this is the mercy of the spiritual master. They're not going to sugarcoat, They might give it in different ways, but Narada Muni isn't going to, what's it called? When we give somebody a compliment, but we're only doing it for, out of sentiment. Starts with an F. Not facetious, but like you compliment somebody, and you're being, you're doing this to them. Anyways, the point is, I can't remember the word right now, but you're saying it because you really want something at it. You want to you're not really being sincere in the appreciation, right? So my point being is Narada Muni is not going to just let Vyasadeva, he's not going to be sentimental with him. He's going to give it to him as it is. And so this lesson that's being taught right here is so practical in our lives as devotees, because we are also doing the best we can to do service, right? And at times we're not feeling satisfied. And so if we take the instructions of Narada Muni, we can understand that in some way, shape, or form in our service isn't pure in the sense of it's meant to please Krishna, in the sense of glorifying his name, fame, form, paraphernalia, his pastimes. And we're not going to feel satisfied until we do that, until our service is only for his pleasure. In Bhagavad Gita, we get so much understanding about how to come to the platform of serving Krishna, right? Starts from Arjuna on the battlefield, confused about his duty, surrenders to Krishna. Krishna speaks Bhagavad Gita, and at the very end, Krishna says what? He says, abandon all types of religion and just surrender to me. Matter of fact, Vyasadeva had written Mahabharata, which Bhagavad Gita is part of, right? Okay, so let's say we get to the point of believing Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, and we decide to take on his instruction to surrender to him, abandon all types of religion. What then? Well, Srimad Bhagavatam. We get to start to live our life in a way where we are becoming, purifying our existence, and the conditioning of material life is being taken away, right? This morning in Gopal Prabhu, he has, Srila Prabhupada nectar and his anecdotes, and one of the devotees was saying that their realizations was, Srila Prabhupada told them, now you're my servant, you're with me 24 hours a day. And so he was serving Srila Prabhupada, and he realized that Srila Prabhupada was Srimad Bhagavatam. It was Srimad Bhagavatam. Living Srimad Bhagavatam. And so, if we see that that Vyasadeva, even after writing the Bhagavad Gita, isn't satisfied, we can understand that even for us, coming to the platform of appreciating Bhagavad Gita, well, I guess I'll put it in a question. So we come to the level of Bhagavad Gita, will we become satisfied? Or do we need to go even farther than Bhagavad Gita? It seems to me that it's being suggested here that even just understanding Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita will not completely satisfy us. It's saying that we need to start to experience and understand fully what the surrender of Krishna is, to abandon all types of religion. And then, when we make that commitment, then life just becomes completely peaceful and there's no problems, right? No. Srimad Bhagavatam is all kinds of problems. Left and right and ups and downs and stuff, So we can take the instructions of Krishna and abandon all types of religion and surrender to him. And then we get to enter to Srimad Bhagavatam and put on your boots, strap in the buckles, and get ready for a ride, if you dare. Because life, I, I have this thought is like, Srila Prabhupada has so kindly cheated us. We come to the chant and be happy. Just chant Hare Krishna, everything will be okay, right? And we have an understanding of what that looks like. Like, oh, everything will be okay. I'll have no problems in my life, you know. I understand that some of this is our kind of perception of what everything being okay would be. But also it's, Srila Prabhupada even says, you know, I've cheated you all. Because what happens when we come to Srila Prabhupada and we come to this this movement is that things get wilder. Things get more intense. It's not that everything becomes okay. It actually becomes that we're going to go through life with the ups and downs, and the purification that comes up and with those ups and downs. And that's Srimad Bhagavatam. You see so many, Shri Shri Radhakala Ki Jai. You see so many conditioned souls in Srimad Bhagavatam, and the purified souls that are giving us a nice example. And you see the people that are just demons, they're committed. And you see in the conditioned souls, they're the way that they go through devotional service to become purified, or when they come in contact of the pure devotee or Krishna, and the ups and downs that they go through to become purified, so that they can taste the satisfaction for which we are always anxious, right? So Srila Prabhupada, thank you. You've kindly cheated us into thinking that, you know, to some degree, that we're going to come into this is the peace that we're looking for. No problems. Chant and be happy, you know? And however, we understand as we advance a little bit that I kind of laugh at it and say, we kind of spit at peace, or the thought of peace. Peace? What's peace? Give me the ups and downs. Give me the left and rights. Give me the bumpy roads. But please, through that, just give me some purification so that I can make progress towards Krishna's lotus feet. And that's what Srimad Bhagavatam is. It's a process that we're going through where we surrendered to Krishna enough that we say, I'm abandoning all types of religion. I'm just surrendering to Krishna. Krishna says he's going to take care of me. Let's do it. Let's go. And we just pray that through this process that we're making progress, that we're getting closer to Krishna. This is why I picked this part, is because I think it's just so practical in devotees' lives. We have an idea that we chant Hare Krishna and be happy, and yet we come and we say, wait a minute, I still am not satisfied. So there's so many practical things in the inquiry. Why am I not satisfied? I'm not satisfied because Krishna's not satisfied. I can pray to the spiritual master. I can talk to them in physical form, like Narada Muni. I can understand that I can do so many nice things in my service, and yet I don't feel satisfied. And so Narada Muni gives exactly the reason why we're not satisfied, why we still have that nagging feeling in us that I have a material life and a spiritual life. And we can take the instructions that Narada Muni is going to give us in Srimad Bhagavatam, and we can get to that point where we become purified. We're making progress, and eventually Krishna shows himself. How many times in Bhagavatam does Krishna appear, and then all of a sudden the devotee is like, you know, completely purified, right? Touches the head with a conch shell, or he appears and smiles, right? In Narada Muni's case, he appears and Narada Muni leaves, and Narada Muni's like, wait, whoa, what was that? Shri Shri Radhakala Shanji Ki Jai. What was that? And Krishna says, I've appeared to you just to give you more of that desire to know me. So now you'll continue the rest of this life, you know, with that in mind that you've seen me, right? So Krishna appears and purifies us and takes us over that hump. Okay, I will, it's 8:15. I'd like to hear from you guys. Any questions, comments, thoughts? Oops, Hare Krishna. Any comments, thoughts, questions?
Hare Krishna, Nanda Braja Prabhu, thank you for stepping in very last minute to give the class.
Thank you for asking and
Jai.
giving me service.
And this is also, I've also been meditating on Narad Muni and this point about not being satisfied, fully satisfied, unless we are completely absorbed in directly glorifying Krishna. Just a related point, we're not satisfied because we are forgetful of Krishna. And that is how at least us as conditioned souls see. The more we're forgetful of Krishna, the more unhappy we are. So is that like a lower state? Because even when Vyasadeva was doing his services, it was not that, was he forgetful of Krishna at any time? I wasn't assuming.
Yeah, that's kind of popped into my head basically when you said that. I was like, I don't think from what I'm hearing is that it's not just about forgetting Krishna. It's about serving unconditionally, uncontaminated, pure loving devotional service. The 4 Kumaras who are in the Brahma Bhuta stage, completely liberated, completely self-satisfied, no problems, they're walking and they smell the tulsi that's been offered to Krishna's feet, and it shakes them. Oh, Krishna's the one who, he's the object of our affection. And so they immediately go into bhakti, right? Pure loving devotional service that's uncontaminated. So the remembrance of Krishna is bringing us on a path of progress. And that's good. Like, we need to do that. You know what I mean? We have to do that. It's really so much better than anything we've ever experienced before. We do feel, through devotional service, we do feel some satisfaction. That's not that we don't feel some satisfaction. Gopa Kumar, Bhagavat, what's the book called? Brihat Bhagavatat. Yes. And so he goes up and he sees these different levels of the spiritual world, and each time he's awed and he's happy and he's joyful. And then after some time he goes, but wait a minute. This isn't it for him, right? So similarly, we'll experience Krishna in these ways and devotional service in ways, and we will get satisfied. We will take a bite that feels good. But until we get to that point of pure devotional service, uncontaminated, uninterrupted, until it becomes our breath, our breathing is serving Krishna, there's always going to be that next, that kind of let off, And even if that let off, we can still think of Krishna and still be making the progress towards him, right? Because thinking of Krishna is purifying. Vyasadeva is asking the question, I'm not satisfied, and yet he has the knowledge to know that if I'm not satisfied, I know Krishna is not satisfied. So therefore I need to keep moving. I need to keep on asking. I need to keep going through the process of devotional service that's been explained by our acharyas. And what is the specific one he does? He goes to the spiritual master, right? So it's still a process, and still purification, and still part of it. It's amazing, It's just, we start to think about it and we go, wow, this bar is pretty dang high. What do you think?
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, so, basically, for everyone, the levels of, you keep going to the next level to experience until, you're uninterrupted, unmotivated.
And that's only given by Krishna. It's really like, it's yeah, that we can't even do. You know, all we can do is put ourselves in the position for Krishna to finally go, okay, here you go. Here's the touch. Here's the, he touches us with his conch shell, right? Touches us with his hand, smiles at us in a way that we go, so it's amazing. That's therefore my encouragement is this is a ride. It's an adventure. It's ups and downs and stuff like that, because it is, this International Society for Krishna Consciousness, woo! Yes, Prabhuji.
There is a verse in the 11th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam which kind of answers probably in a indirect way or maybe a direct way. So as you were speaking and Mataji was asking that question, I was reminded of this verse. You can maybe pull it up, 11 to 42. Bhaktir pareshanubhava viraktir anyatatrisha ekakala prapadyamana yatasnata su tushti pushti kshudapayo anugasham. So this is a verse which was spoken by Kavi, one of the Nava Yogendras, to
which one is it?
11 to 42. And Srimad Bhagavatam 11 to 42. Yeah. And perhaps you can read the translation, and the purport is also quite brilliant. Since I have the mic, maybe I'll read it.
Yeah.
Devotion, direct experience of the Supreme Lord, and detachment from other things. These three occur simultaneously for one who has taken shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the same way that pleasure, nourishment, and relief from hunger comes simultaneously and increasingly with each bite for a person engaged in eating.
Shall we read the purport?
Sure, we can. Srila Jiva Goswami has explained this analogy as follows. Bhakti or devotion may be compared to tushti, satisfaction, because they both take the form of pleasure. Pareshanubhava, experience of the Supreme Lord, and pushti, nourishment, are analogous because both sustain one's life. Finally, virakti, detachment, and kshudapaya, cessation of hunger, may be compared because both free one from further hankering, so that one may experience shanti or peace. Keep going, Prabhu.
What do you think?
Sorry?
It's up to you. Go whatever you think.
I don't know if Mataji's question was addressed.
Okay. Yes.
But we can keep going deeper
No,
and deeper.
Go ahead and explain. You know what I mean. Speak. Go ahead and speak about the point of this, the verse answering Tulsi Saki Prabhu's question.
Yeah. So obviously a devotee is never satisfied with wherever he or she is at, but at the same time we have to understand the process of devotional services quite deep, and the more we engage in the process of devotional service with sincerity, there is virakti, there is detachment, pareshanubhavo, there is deep faith that is established, and tushti, there is satisfaction, pushti, there is nourishment, and kshudapaya, there is cessation of the pangs of hunger or the tribulations of the material world. So Vyasadeva here, obviously because he didn't glorify the Srimad Bhagavatam, he didn't glorify Krishna properly, he was not experiencing that. And even though he knew everything, so this is the reason why, like, unless and otherwise we engage completely in pure devotional service, we will never become satisfied. And the Srimad Bhagavatam here is also a praman that to the degree you glorify Krishna, to that degree you will become satisfied, you will become nourished, you will become happy. And material nature will not affect you. So that's my take on it.
Very nice. Thank you, Prabhuji. Go ahead. What were you saying?
There was that additional point that Vyasadeva wasn't sad, because although he knew the ultimate goal, he had not directly addressed it. So that was also another nice point over there.
It really sinks into me about how the process we can't do alone. So we have the spiritual master, right? That's explaining to us. Even the knowledge, he knows. It's just really, it's quite amazing. He knows, but yet he is not, he's not experiencing the satisfaction. I don't know if you've ever had this experience, but maybe you've had this experience where the spiritual master gives you an answer or explains something, and it's just not quite there, but you keep asking, and then they say that one sentence or the one thing, you go, oh, God, there it is. Okay, thank you. You know what I mean? I wasn't hearing, and then yeah. I was looking for, because we were talking about the surrendering process in Bhagavad Gita. There's something that I found very helpful in my devotional service. But while I look for that, anybody else with any? Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
So, in reference to Prabhu's shloka he just mentioned, where it says, devotion, direct experience of the Supreme Lord, and detachment from other things. These three occur simultaneously for one who has taken shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I mean, when they say direct experience of the Supreme Lord, is it we experience His mercy through our realizations, or it's like Dhruv Maharaj literally saw the Supreme Lord? So what is the actual meaning here when they say direct experience?
It is pratyaksha. So in the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains this also. He says, Raja Vidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam Pratyaksha-vagamam Dharmyam Susukam Kartum Avyayam. So you will have actually direct experience by practice. Sorry? Not just visually seeing the Lord, you can hear the Lord, you can experience the sweetness of the Lord through His devotees or even directly. Everything will actually become manifest. That is what the Shastras are saying. Pratyaksha means direct perception.
Second one, so there is something which missing I cannot understand. You understand my question, Prabhu?
Do you feel happiness when you chant Hare Krishna? What is that? Does someone have to tell you that you are happy because you are chanting Hare Krishna? Does someone have to tell you that you will become happy when you chant Hare Krishna? Or do you experience happiness? So what is that? Everything, Mataji. It is not just one sense. It is all the senses. Do you follow? So, Prabhu, in today's verse, there is, Prabhu, if you can pick up today's verse, that you spoke, 158. So, there, the word darshanam is used, right?
Mm-hmm.
And darshanam also translates to philosophy, right? So, when we actually study the Srimad Bhagavatam deeply, then we will have real darshanam. So until that happens, it takes time. Yes, they do happen at different stages, but it is also the way it explained by the acharyas is like if you poke a needle into 100 lotus petals, is it happening simultaneously or one at a time? But if you actually look at it, it is happening simultaneously, right? So it is just like that. So one at a time, but also simultaneously. So it takes time, but be patient, you're on the right path. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Here's something that I wanted to share that I found anyways, very helpful in the surrendering process. Sri Prabhupada's given us in the surrendering process. In the surrendering process, one should accept things favorable for the discharging devotional service, reject things unfavorable, always believe firmly in the Lord's protection, feel exclusively dependent on the mercy of the Lord, have no interest separate from the interest of the Lord, and always feel oneself meek and humble. So when I'm not feeling the satisfaction of devotional service, I like to go to this. Say, which one of these can I apply? And it's very softening to the heart, right? The anxiety of not being satisfied by Krishna's presence can be tough, you know? And so at that time, we can ask, what is it? And if we go to, I've found that this is very helpful to go to these 6 things and go, no, what, am I not believing firmly in the Lord's protection? Am I thinking that this person needs to save me, or my mind can save me, my thoughts can save me? Is my self-interest here? Or is it the Lord's? Or am I being puffed up, you know? Humble is also in the sense of not using the things that Krishna has given us in a proper way, right? So anyways, these I've found when I read this, and it's been very helpful for those times that I feel like, gosh, what am I doing wrong? Okay. Anyways, hopeful that's helped. Thank you all so very much. Thank you, Tulsi Saki Prabhu, for asking me to give class and giving me this service. I really do appreciate it. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Pramanande Hari Hari Bol. Vanchaka Patarubhyascha. Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo. Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna.
प्रभु नित्यानंद